Hello, Workplace Math 10 students. This is the second lesson in the Statistics Central Tendency unit. We're going to be looking at three different central tendency measures. Yes, last day we looked at mean. Today we're going to look at median, and the last lesson will be on mode. So let's take a look at what this lesson looks like. So what you can see is that we're going to have a lesson in Google Classroom called S2 Statistics Central Tendency Median. And if we get into this lesson here, just as a quick review, last day we talked about the mean, and the mean once again is the average of a set of data. So basically if we take all of these numbers, and in this case we have 30 numbers, and we add each of these individually up, they arrive at 168. We then divide that by the number of numbers we had, which was 30, to get 5.6. This number makes sense because it falls somewhere in the range of the values between 2 and 10. If it fell, like if the mean was 1 or the mean was something greater than 10, well, that doesn't make any sense. But this does make sense here. Likewise, the median, which we're going to look at today, is the middle score for a set of data. So once again, we need to organize our data from lowest to highest, which this already is here. And so when we just look at the two middle numbers, well, the two middle numbers in this case in a set of 30 numbers is number 15 and 16, which is right here. And so 6 and 6 add up to 12. We then divide that by 2 to figure out the average of this, and this is obviously still 6. And that makes sense because once again, the median should be right smack in the middle of the series of values when we've organized the numbers from lowest to highest. And the last measure, central measure tendency that we're going to be looking at in this unit is mode, in which case we're looking at the most frequently occurring set of data. And in this case, the number 4 occurs more times than any other. It has 8 occurrences, so therefore the number 4 in this case is the mode. And each of these kind of gives us an indication as to how these values are organized. Now let's take a look quickly at the definition of central tendency again. The reason why we look at central tendencies is that it provides a single value, whether it be the mean, median, or mode, that attempts to describe a set of data. So it gives us an idea of how that data is situated, what the basic middle point is. So once again, let's take a look at this from the context of our assignment today. So your assignment today is called Mathletics Median. And in here, let's take a look at this example here. What we will see is it's asking us to find the median of this set of numbers. Now, what we need to do firstly, when it's a raw set of data like this that's not organized, is we need to organize it in order of the values. So we put the lowest number first, that's 1. I like to cross this out so I remind myself that, you know what, I already did that. I already used that number. And then I put the next number, which in lowest value is 5, and I cross that out. And then I'm going to do the same thing for 6. Cross that out. Then I will put 8 in here, because that's the next number. And once again, sometimes it might take you a little bit of time to look at this, but I've already sort of gone through this, so I can kind of quickly identify the values. But the next number is 12. The next number is 15. So once again, lowest to highest. And if we had duplicates of the same number, we just put one after the other. And then we have 19 is the next number. And once again, I'm crossing these out to just remind myself that I've already written down that number, because I'll tell you, I've done this before, and it's easy to miss a number if you don't do that. So we've got 21 there, then we've got 31, it jumps all the way to 31 here. Then we have 34. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just putting them in order from lowest to highest. Then we've got 36. Then we've got 37. And once again, I'm just crossing out each number as I write it down, so I remind myself, hey, you know what? I already put that number down. 38. And then lastly, 40. So these numbers should all be crossed out now. And just as a way of double checking, what I can do is I can count up how many numbers I have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 numbers. So if I have 14 numbers here, I have 14 numbers, right? Then I should have 14 numbers in this list too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 numbers here. Now, what is the middle two numbers of 14 numbers? Well, it would be the 7th and 8th number would be right in the middle. So basically, if I count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the 7th number, and this is the 8th number. So these two numbers collectively are the middle numbers. Just to double check, let's just double check. We should have equal numbers on either side of these two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 on either side. These are the two middle numbers. And once again, when we have an equal number of numbers, so sorry, an even number of numbers that we have, in this case 14 is an even number, then we're going to have two middle numbers. Now what do we do with these two? Well, we add them together. So 19 plus 21, which we could use a calculator for if we wanted to, but we probably can do that in our head, which is 40. We divide that by 2, and the middle or the average between those is obviously 20. And that is why the value for this is 20. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm just going to click and take away the screen here and then come back so I don't have to clean up all that mess. So let's take a look at another example here. So this time it's a little different. We have an even number of numbers here, but once again, we're still going to need to organize by lowest to highest. So starting with the lowest, we have 5. And so I'll cross that out. Then we have 12, it jumps right up to 12. And then we have 14. And then we have 15. And then we have 20. And then we have 21. Then we have 25. Then we have 27. So once again, just organizing these in order, lowest to highest. So the next number is 30 here. Then we have 31. And my writing is getting worse and worse as I do this, but 33. Hopefully you can still recognize what I'm writing here. 39. And then lastly, 40. So if I've done this correctly, I should have all the numbers crossed out, which I do. I'm going to double check how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 numbers. That's an odd number. So we're going to have just one middle number here. So let's just double check we have 13 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the middle number between in this whole, it would be 7. So the 7th number over, there'd be 6 on either side, is going to be the middle number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the middle number in this case. So when we have an odd number of numbers, we only have one middle number. It's really easy to figure out the median then, because it's just that number. And notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. So it is the middle number, and that's why 25 is the correct value. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm just going to clear this screen out again and then try the next and last question we'll look at today. So this one here is another example, but it has an even number of numbers this time. So once again, we have to organize this in order here. So this would be, starting here would be 4, and then 6, and then 14, jumps right to 14, and then 15, And notice I put a comma between each one just to recognize that they're separate numbers, because if you write it too close, sometimes you can get confused and think it's the same number when in fact it's two different numbers. So putting a comma to separate between is a good practice to do. So then 23 would be the next number. And once again, if this is, I'm doing this quickly, but sometimes you have to take a good scan to see what the next number is, to see that there's maybe not a repeating number. It sometimes takes a little bit of time, but basically, for sake of time, I've already done this, and I've sort of identified each of these numbers and are putting them in order. But you can obviously, it might take you a little bit longer to do that. So then the next number is 27. And my writing is getting atrocious here. 28. 29. That was really not a very good 29. And my mouse is starting to act up here. And 35. So we should have all of the numbers crossed out, which we do. We'll just double check how many numbers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 numbers. That's an even number of numbers. So that means we're going to have 2 middle numbers that we're going to have to take the average of. So let's just double check. We have 12 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 numbers. Now the 2 numbers that are going to fall between 12, like in 12 here, would be basically the 6th and the 7th numbers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6. This is the 7th number. So these 2 collectively are our middle numbers. So just so we're just double checking, we should have 5 on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what we have here is we have to take the average between 23 and 24. Now, you may need a calculator for this, but basically, hopefully you can see that when we add these 2 together, that makes 47. We divide by 2, and what we end up with here is actually a half number. So even though there is no 23 and a half, the middle number is in fact 23, or the median number is in fact 23 and a half. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So give this assignment a try. And then once again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or give me a call. Thanks for watching.